Hey guys, Adam here from Adam Fiasco Productions. Hope you're having a great day. In this video I want to address something that a lot of independent artists struggle with, sometimes quite a lot, sometimes only occasionally, and that's a lack of motivation. And I'm always hearing from people, one of the biggest struggles is that they just don't have the motivation to get shit done. And one of the best ways to overcome that is something called the do something principle. And this principle suggests that the best way that you can overcome a lack of motivation is just by doing something, literally anything. So, for example, if you lack motivation to write a song, then force yourself to sit down and write a verse, or even just a catchy guitar hook, or a vocal melody, or just something. And the mere act of forcing yourself to do something inspires further action and further motivation. So the chances are, if you sit down and you write a guitar hook and you think, that's pretty cool, the chances are that's going to inspire you to keep going with it. If you write a verse that ends up being pretty good, chances are you're going to push on and write a chorus, and before you know it, you could have an entire song. Now, what's the worst that could happen? Even if you force yourself to sit down and you write a verse and it totally sucks, well, so what? Take a break, start again in an hour or the next day. It's not a big deal. By doing this, you're making your goal taking action, not writing a great song. So if you fail to write a great song, well, that's now unimportant, because motivation is the reward rather than a prerequisite for you to actually write something. So some proof that this stuff actually works. I've just wrapped up a project with a client that got in touch with me a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure he won't mind me saying he's a slightly older gentleman, but he got in touch with me. We went through the usual process, had a call with him, determined that he'd be a great fit for what I do and that I'd actually be able to help him, and we decided to do a single. But what really interested me on the phone call was, when I asked him what his biggest struggle was, he replied, getting started. His biggest struggle was actually doing anything at all. Never mind, struggling with the finishing a song, or producing it, or mixing it, or growing a fan base, or finding gigs, going on tours. None of that. He literally could not get started. So he invited me over to his house. He got a small home studio set up, and went over there with a view to having a chat about things, how we saw the song panning out, then writing a song and taking it through the full production, mix, mastering, so that then he had something to release. So I went into his home studio, and instantly my jaw literally hit the floor. I could not believe what I was seeing. There must have been tens and tens and thousands of pounds worth of gear. I'm talking like Neve compressors and preamps, Mag API EQs, SSL preamps, SSL bus compressors. This guy had it all. I've got a really nice studio set up myself, but I had gear envy, basically. And I was instantly thinking, how could you have all of this gear and you've not put anything out? And it just goes to show that even with all the gear in the world, money no object, that cannot necessarily give you the motivation to start. So anyway, we sat down with some acoustic guitars, and he played a riff for me that he kind of just come up with a couple of weeks prior to it. And within 2 hours, we'd taken that one simple guitar riff to a fully finished song. Verse, chorus, second chorus, bridge, outro. It was done. And I remember the excitement. He was so excited that we'd actually finished something and we could move on to the next stage, producing it and then mixing it. And right now it's away for mastering. We're expecting it to get it back this week, so that he will release it. It will be on Spotify. But that initial excitement that we'd actually finished, and that all just came from sitting down and forcing him to do something, forced him to take that riff. Right, we've got the guitar riff, what comes next? That's all it took. And within under 2 hours, we'd got a fully finished song. And that is the proof that this stuff works. You have to force yourself to do something. This video has shown to you that if you do lack motivation and you struggle to get anything started or get anything finished, then there is a very simple solution. So if you are struggling and you need some help, then I want you to reach out. Leave a comment below or send me a direct message and schedule a one-on-one call with me. The call is going to teach you everything that you need to solve this problem and start getting you the motivation that you need to get projects finished and start getting traction with your music. On the call, I'll help you diagnose what's been stopping you in the first place. Then I'm going to give you the tools and the resources that you need to move forward so that you walk away with actionable steps. And then finally, I'll give you my 3-step system for avoiding that lack of motivation, getting songs finished that sound great, and then to go on and get traction with your music. It's going to be insanely valuable. Like I mentioned, I had a client recently who's in his 60s and he's never ever put anything out. Within 2 hours of working together, we got a fully finished song that he's going to put out later this month on all of the major distributors and start getting traction with his music. So if you're ready to take the next step and start making progress to avoiding a lack of motivation and getting traction with your finished projects, then leave a comment below or send me a direct message and we'll figure out a day and a time that works for you. My calendar can get filled up, so make sure you grab one sooner rather than later so that you don't miss out. Thanks a lot for watching. Speak to you soon.